Hi everyone, this is John Miranda coming to you from my studio in Dallas. I'm going to answer some questions about my work at Galleri Urbane. The title, Viajero, traveler, wanderer, really connects to this body of work because it's exactly what I did. I just felt like I wanted to leave the environment I was in, and I wanted to explore and just go somewhere where I've never been before, to where everything is unfamiliar to me. Really, to my surprise, there was a lot of things that were similar to me, to my upbringing, to Mexico, and that's the connection that the title Viajero, traveler, has with this body of work. While traveling, the objects in this body of work is really a lot of architecture that you see is while I was there in the Philippines, the architecture is very similar to that of Mexico. A lot of their materials, a lot of concrete, steel, and so I really related to that a lot. Growing up in Del Rio, across the border, while when I would go into the downtown of Mexico, so many arts and crafts, ceramics, and you can imagine I was really fell in love with those kinds of things, and so of course, being in the Philippines, it was one of the things that I would notice is all of the arts and crafts, a lot of lamps that they would make, a lot of pottery. Just talking about it, I I already miss it. Also, the animals really symbolize just a lot of what I see in us, in the way that we live. I could really see it in these animals, their interactions and the relationships that they would have. I would encounter the same group of cats and dogs every day, and I really got to observe them and see how they find food, shelter, all of the things that we need, relationships. So all of these things really informed the work. The architecture, the arts and crafts, just the way of life, really connected to that a lot. So my work, the process with the encaustic has changed a lot, and it's kind of melted together. My earliest work was very loose, and I would pour encaustic straight on there, and I would kind of just be drawing all over the panel, and things were very loose. And as time went on, I wanted to be a little bit more strict, maybe, where I wanted the objects to be very, very clean, kind of still playful, but more precise onto the actual object that I was using. And so I came up with this kind of technique of making stencils for it, to where I would first draw very precisely the object I wanted. I would get a X-Acto knife, cut out every little piece, lay down the wax, and then put piece by piece over the wax to where I would carve around and kind of start getting the image. And with this body of work, I kind of am no longer using the stencils, but I still want a certain amount of precision, and I want the objects to be how they are. And so it's kind of a little bit of the past years working with encaustic, of it coming together, and me still wanting to control what the object looks like, but letting loose just a little bit. And so I think the process is going to continue to evolve to where maybe I will go back to stencils if there's an object that has to be so precise that I need this. Also just using other tools and kind of this play between going back and forth between different process to achieve kind of the what I want. So the process for this body of work would would start off as, what size of painting do I want, and how do I scale that down on a piece of paper? gather out of all of my photographs that I think I want to use for the piece and start organizing the composition. And that's where scale comes into play. Most of my work is large scale, and then within the painting, I kind of play with scale again even more to where some objects are bigger and smaller than other things. And how do I create a balance between all of this to where not one object is more dominant or stronger or noticeable than another, but that your eye can easily, or so that your eye can travel throughout the painting from one spot through another. And it does this either by scale, by color, by the direction and the shape, and outlining of everything. And so that it kind of just becomes this environment that has a certain kind of harmony to it, and that it is more of a celebration into the beauty of architecture and arts and crafts, and all of these things that I experience in this travel.